I never thought betrayal would come from the two people I trusted the most. Because when you love someone, you give them access to your heart. And when you call someone your best friend, you give them access to your life. But I learned the hard way. Sometimes the people closest to you are not there to protect you. They're there to destroy you quietly. And what makes this story worse is that I didn't catch them because I was suspicious. I caught them because they got too comfortable. Too careless. Too confident. Because one night, I walked into my own house. And I heard a sound that still haunts my head till today. A sound that made my blood run cold. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just being cheated on. I was being played. By the woman I planned to marry. And the man I called my brother. So if you've ever trusted someone too much. If you've ever loved someone too deeply. Sit down. Because this story will make you question everybody around you. Puzzle Piece Part 1. How it all started, 1:30 to 5 o'clock. My name is Daniel. And for the longest time, I believed I was living the kind of love story people pray for. I had a girlfriend named Jessica. She was beautiful, soft-spoken, and had this smile that made you feel safe. The kind of smile that made you believe she could never hurt you. And I had a best friend named Marcus. Marcus wasn't just my friend. Marcus was the guy I grew up with. The guy I fought with in school. The guy I shared my secrets with. The guy I defended even when people said he was trouble. If I had one plate of food, Marcus could eat half. If I had one last 1,000 naira, Marcus could borrow it. That's how deep our friendship was. I thought I could trust her. People didn't even call him my friend. And I never saw it coming. So when Jessica came into my life, intro, 45 to 60 seconds. And I didn't just introduce her casually. She walked into my life, proudly, smiling like she had a secret. I wanted her to meet the person who had been there for me when nobody else felt easy. Every laugh felt real. And Marcus, I believed we were meant to be family. I shared things with her that I had never told anyone. My performing arts, my dreams, even my relationship. 5 to 8 o'clock. I thought that's what love was. Jessica and I dated for almost 2 years. But in those 2 years, I did everything I could to make her happy. And I was the type of boyfriend that checked up constantly. Part 1. If she was beginning of everything, I ordered food. We met through mutual friends. If she was tired, I came over to massage her feet. It was casual. If she needed money for something small, maybe a movie, I sent it. But not because she demanded. It became routine. But because I loved her. She texted me in the mornings, asked how my day was, but I remembered details I thought no one else noticed. And I believed love was about sacrifice. I fell for it, hard. Jessica used to tell me. I even told myself, I finally met someone who understands thing that has ever happened to me. Weeks passed, she used to tell me she had never met a man like me. Everyone loved her. Why wouldn't I? She was charming, funny, she posted me on her status, genuine. She introduced me to her about people who lie well. She called me my husband as a joke. And I was completely blind. Marcus used to hype us. The first signs. He used to say things like, at first, it was subtle. Don't lose this girl. A late reply here, a small excuse there. Sometimes he even joked. She's just busy. If you don't marry her, I told myself I will. But we all laughed. Something felt off. But I didn't know. Then came the small jokes lies. Are not jokes. White lies, maybe. Some jokes are hidden confessions. She said she was at work, the first red flag told me she was somewhere else. The first time I felt something was off. I wanted the world to make sense, so I ignored the warning signs. I remember it clearly because that day I had planned a surprise for Jessica. One evening, I wanted to take her out for dinner. Through my phone when I saw a message I wasn't around 5 p.m. My heart froze. My hand shook. No answer. I couldn't breathe. I texted. It was something I could never have imagined. No reply. The truth hit me like a storm. I wasn't worried. Every word she said suddenly felt like a carefully scripted story designed to fool me. She still hadn't replied. I couldn't speak. So I started panicking. Because Jessica was always on her phone. And for the first time, I realized, the person I loved, she went to the bathroom, her phone followed her. Part 4, confrontation number 1. I called her about it because he lived closer to her area. Trying not to let my emotions get the best of me. Have you heard from Jessica today? Is this true? Marcus
I
replied
asked,
calmly,
my voice shaking.
"Ah no." She
But
looked at
maybe
me
she's
with those
busy.
eyes I once loved.
His voice was too
"You're
relaxed.
overthinking," she said.
Almost like he already
"It's
knew
nothing.
where she was.
Trust me."
But I ignored it. I wanted to believe
Later
her.
around 9 p.m.
I really did.
Jessica finally
But something
replied.
inside me whispered,
She's
sighed.
lying.
Part
Said,
5, the cracks widened.
"Sorry babe." Days went
I went
by.
out with my cousin.
Every detail
My
I
phone
noticed
was on
before now
silent.
started to make sense.
Her message sounded
Late
normal.
replies.
But something
Small
felt strange.
excuses.
Because Jessica never called
Disappearances that
anybody
didn't
her
add up.
cousin. I
She
started
always
replaying
said,
conversations in my head,
my sister.
looking for clues. But now
And
suddenly
every
it was
lie,
cousin.
every small deception,
I asked,
made me feel sick.
What cousin? I realized something
She replied
painful.
quickly.
The person I loved.
My cousin
wasn't
from
real.
my mom's side.
Part 6.
Then
The
she
full
changed the
truth
topic.
revealed.
She
It
said,
came out slowly.
"Babe, I miss you."
One lie led to another.
"I'll call you later."
And then another.
And that was it.
I discovered she had
I
been
didn't
hiding
push.
more than just small secrets.
Because I trusted her.
Months of deception.
And trust is the biggest
Betrayal
mistake you can
disguised
make
as
when
love.
someone is lying.
Every
I love
detective
you,
part
every
4,
promise,
the small
every
signs I
late-night
ignored,
call,
12
tainted.
to 1800 hours.
I confronted her
After
again,
that day,
more
little
forcefully
things
this
started
time.
happening. I trusted
Small
you.
things.
How could you
But
do this?
small things are how
I
betrayal
yelled.
starts.
She
Jessica
smiled
started
again,
guarding her
calm
phone
and
like
collected.
it was gold.
It's complicated,
If I sat near
she
her,
said. She would tilt her phone
"You'll
away.
understand someday."
If I asked,
I
who
didn't
are you
understand.
chatting with? She would laugh
I
and
couldn't.
say. And I
"Babe,
still
you're becoming
can't.
jealous." Oh.
Part 7.
Then she
the
would kiss
emotional
me
fallout.
and distract me.
The days
And
that
Marcus-
followed were the hardest.
I
Marcus
couldn't
started
eat.
coming around more often. I couldn't sleep. At first, I thought it was
everything
normal.
in my mind.
He always came
Friends
around.
tried to help.
But it became
Family
too
tried to
frequent.
comfort me.
If I wasn't around,
But nothing
he
could
was
prepare
around.
me for the feeling of
If
betrayal.
I was at work, he would
I
tell
went
me.
through all the stages of
I'm
heartbreak,
just passing by
shock,
Jessica's
anger,
area. Sadness.
disbelief.
Sometimes I'd call Jessica,
And in the
her
middle of
phone
it
would
all,
be busy. A small voice whispered,
Then I'd
"You will
call
get through
Marcus."
this," and his phone would also
Part
be busy.
8,
reflection and growth.
Same time.
Weeks passed.
But I still didn't suspect.
Slowly, I started
Because why would
rebuilding
I?
myself. Marcus would
I
never do
realized
that
something
to me.
important.
The betrayal
Jessica would
wasn't
never
just
do
about
that
her
to me.
lies. It was about
Or
trusting
so I
blindly.
believed.
I
Then
learned
something
something
happened
happened
that made my
instincts.
chest tighten.
To notice the
One
little
evening,
things. I visited Jessica
to protect my
unexpectedly.
heart.
I wanted to
I don't
surprise
hate
her anymore. When she opened the
just
door,
accept the
she
truth.
looked shocked. She lied.
Not happy,
yes.
shocked.
Boo. Panicked, shocked.
Exist.
Like she had just seen a ghost. Part 4, the confrontation.
She said,
I
"Babe,
confronted her gently,
you didn't
trying
tell
to
me
give
you
her
were
the benefit
coming.
of the doubt. I
Is
laughed
this
and
true?"
said,
I
I
asked.
wanted to surprise you. She smiled. She
calm
forced
and
a
sweet.
smile. You don't
But her
need to worry
hands were
about
shaking,
that, she said. I entered the house.
Her
voice was like honey, and the
smooth
first thing
and
I noticed
reassuring.
was, I wanted
2
to believe
cups
her.
on the table.
I wanted
2
to trust
cups
her.
of juice.
But one lie
Fresh.
leads to another. As if someone
The
had
little
just been sitting there.
inconsistencies,
The hidden messages.
I asked her.
The stories that didn't add
Were
up.
you expecting
All
someone?
of it came crashing down.
She quickly said,
Part 5, the
No,
realization.
it's for me.
It
I
wasn't
poured
just a
2 by
single
mistake.
It was
2 by
months of
mistake.
deception, carefully woven
I wanted
so that
to
I
laugh,
never suspected
but I
a
didn't.
thing.
I just
I
nodded.
love you, every late
Then
night
I noticed
call,
a jacket
every
on the
promise,
chair,
tainted by
A
dishonesty.
men's jacket.
I replayed
Not
every
mine.
moment in my head. I asked, was I blind?
Whose jacket
Was I
is
naive?
that?
Or was
Jessica
she
froze.
just good at hiding who she
Then
really
she said,
was? It's
The
my
truth
brother's
is
harsh. Sometimes
He came earlier.
people aren't who they pretend to
Her
be.
brother.
And when
I
you
knew
love
her
someone,
brother.
your heart can ignore
And that
reality.
jacket was not his style.
Part 6, the
But I
emotional
ignored it.
fallout. Because I didn't want
The
to seem
days after
paranoid.
discovering the truth were the
But
hardest.
deep inside,
I couldn't eat.
my spirit was already
I
screaming.
couldn't
sleep. Broken
I
Heart
walked
Part
around
5,
numb,
as
the
if my
day
body
everything
was going through the
changed.
motions, but my
1800
mind
hours
was stuck in shock.
2400 hours.
Friends tried to
2
comfort
weeks
me.
later.
Move
Marcus
on,
called
they
me.
said. He
Family
sounded
warned
excited.
me.
He
But
said,
no
one could fix the feeling
Guy,
of betrayal. Let's hang out
I
tonight.
wanted
answers. Just me and you.
I wanted closure.
I was happy. I wanted to understand why she
Because
did it.
we hadn't had boys'
But
time
sometimes,
in a while.
you never get answers. So I agreed. And that's the cruelest
We
part.
met at a bar around 8
Part
p.m.
7, reflection
Marcus
and growth.
was already there.
Weeks passed.
He ordered drinks.
Slowly,
We laughed.
I started to rebuild myself.
We talked about old memories.
I realized the problem
Then he
wasn't
asked
just
me
her
about
lies.
Jessica.
It was my blind trust.
He said,
I
"How
learned to
far
listen
with
to
your
my
babe?"
instincts, to read
I
between the
smiled
lines,
and said,
and to protect my heart.
"She's fine.
I don't hate
I'm
her.
thinking of proposing soon."
I just accept the truth. When I said that, she lied.
Marcus'
Yes.
smile disappeared for half
But
a
I
second.
survived.
Just half a second. And I won't be blind again. He quickly covered it up and said, but betrayal can teach you more than any heartbreak ever could. She's a good girl. Hook. Leave the audience thinking. But his voice so if